Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Francisca, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to make a very simple shirt collar. It is actually a straightforward method. I call this the straight method of making shirt collars. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to achieve this from start to finish. We're going to do the pattern and we're going to sew it up. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Please click the subscribe button, click the bell so you get updates when I post new videos. And please, I have another channel. It is my natural hair channel. It's called Siska Chidobe. You can support me by clicking the subscribe button. I'm going to leave a link in the description box, and you'll see an eye that will pop up above this video, so you can go ahead and subscribe. And now let's dive into our shirt collar tutorial. Guys, before you go ahead to draft your shirt collar, you actually need your shirt pattern, okay? And what you will need is the neckline for the front and for the back. You actually need to measure that. You can see that my front pattern has an allowance here from the center front, which is the placket allowance, where you're going to attach buttons and buttonholes. So I have here 3 inches that is folded to 1 inch. So I'll place my tape rule here like this and measure. Okay, so what I have here is 4.75 inches for the front, and then I'll come right here, measure the back. And what I have for the back neckline is 4.5 inches. So 4.75 plus 4.5, that will give us what? 9.25. You realize that this 9.25 that we measured is half of the front and half of the back. The next thing I'm going to do is to grab my collar stay, and this is it, guys. We're going to be drafting the collar stand and the collar fall at the same time. And as you can see, I folded it into 2 like this. Okay, do you understand? So what I'm going to do right now is to draw a straight line right here. So what I'm going to now do is go ahead and mark the width of my collar stand. We're going to be drafting the collar stay and the collar stand at the same time. So I'm going to come right here now. You can go with 1 inch for your collar stand or 1.5 inch. It depends on what you want. So I'll be going with 1 inch for mine. So at this folded part of my collar stay, I'm going to mark 1 inch upwards. So I'll come right here and mark 1 inch. Come to another point, mark 1 inch. Do you understand? And then I'm going to draw a straight line across. On these 2 lines, that 9.25 that we measured initially from the folded edge, I'll just come right here, mark the 9.25. You are not adding any seam allowance to this, okay? Come right down at the second line, mark 9.25, and then I'm going to join the 2 points together to have a straight line. Okay, the next thing you want to do is to go on to curve the top part. Do you understand? So you can come in by like 1 inch. Do you understand? And then just go ahead. Can you see what I'm doing? Just go ahead and curve it out like this. So just make a slight curve. So from this line that we have here now, we are going to be marking the collar fall, and I'm going to be going with a collar fall of 1.5 inches. Do you understand? I want it to be a little wider than the collar stand. So what I'm going to do now is come right here from this line that we have here. I'm going to mark that 1.5 inches. Okay, next I'm going to do is come to another point somewhere in the middle of this collar stand. Just mark 1.5 inches. You can go ahead and find the midpoint and mark the 1.5 inches. Okay, at this point of the collar fall, we're going to be coming in by 1 inch. So this part of the collar fall will be shorter than the collar stand by 1 inch. So I'll just come right here now, mark that 1 inch. Okay, then at this 1 inch mark, I'll now determine how wide I want my collar to be. Do you understand? So I have 1.5 inch here. You can go with ×2 of what you have at the folded part here. Okay, and ×2 of that is what? 3 inches. So I'll just come right here and mark 3 inches, and at the point where I marked these 3 inches, I'll just come out by ½ inch. Do you understand? You can even go by 1 inch. It depends on you. Okay, so let me just go by 1 inch. So what I'm going to do now is just create a curve from this 1 inch extension that I did here. I'm going to connect it to this 1.5 inches that we have here. Okay, so I'll just create a slight curve like that. So can you see what I'm doing? I'll just connect it like this, and then from this point here, I'll connect it to this point here. Okay, so just go ahead and do that for yours. And what I'm now going to do is to go ahead and connect from this point here to the 1 inch that we marked at this point. Okay, So can you see what I'm doing? So I'll just go ahead and connect it like that. And this is what we have. Collar stand and collar foil have been marked, you know, together. Very, very easy, right? So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and, you know, cut this out following the markings that I have made. I'm going to separate the collar stand from the collar foil. So guys, after cutting, this is what I have. This is my collar stand right here, and right here is my collar foil. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is grab my fabric that I'm going to be using to make this collar, and this collar stay is a fusible one. So I'll take it to my pressing area now, and then I'll be fusing the collar stay to the wrong side of the fabric. I'll be doing this for this collar stand that we have here, as well as the collar foil, and you want to fuse it in such a way that you are going to, you know, have half an inch seam allowance all around the two pieces. Okay, so don't go ahead and place it together like this on your fabric and fuse. So after fusing, this is what I have. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, trim the fabric with a half an inch allowance all around the collar stay. After trimming this to have the seam allowances on the fabric all around the collar stay, this is what I have. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and place this piece like this. I'll place it on my fabric, and you need to place this right side touching the right side of your fabric. What we want to do is to duplicate this fabric so that we can use it to, you know, cover up this collar stay that we have here. So just place it on your fabric, right sides, you know, to right sides touching, and then go ahead and, you know, cut out a second piece of this fabric following, you know, this as your pattern. Do you understand? So guys, after cutting out the second pieces of fabric that I'll use to cover this piece, this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and, you know, work on the collar foil. So what I'm going to do is place this on top of each other with right sides touching. Okay, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine now, and I'll be sewing this side here, this curved part here, and then I'll be sewing this side here, and I'll be stitching very, very close to my collar stay. So make sure your needle point is right beside the collar stay. Okay, it's very, very important that you stitch very, very close to it. It's going to make your collar look really, really neat. So once I get to this end here, I'm going to raise my presser foot and pivot my fabric around the needle. Okay, drop the presser foot down, and then I'm going to continue to sew along the edge of the collar stay. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Once I get to this end as well, I raise my presser foot, pivot my fabric around the needle, drop the presser foot down, and then I'm going to, you know, continue to sew. Okay, so guys, this is what I have after sewing. So I'll just go ahead and turn it like this. Turn the other side as well, and you actually, you know, need to poke the ends so that your collar can, you know, come out looking, you know, really nice. So I've poked the ends out. I'll go ahead and give this a very, very good press. After pressing this down, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and sandwich this collar foil in between the collar stand, which is these two pieces of fabric. Okay, what you need to do is to ensure that this part that has the collar stay is, you know, touching the collar stand that has the collar stay. Okay, I've said collar a lot in this video, so I'm going to place it, you know, right sides to right sides touching, and you need to make sure that this part of the collar foil, this open end here, is, you know, touching the curved edge of your collar stand. So can you see? So I'm just going to place it on top like this. Make sure that it is edge to edge. Okay, now that you have it placed on top of this, what I'm going to do is to go ahead and, you know, measure from, you know, the edge of this collar on top of the fabric, measure from here to here, measure from here to here as well. You need to make sure that it is equal. Okay, so I came in by 1 inch to measure this part of my collar foil. So I should be having 1 inch here, then plus half an inch seam allowance. The same thing here as well. So I'll just go ahead and measure that just to be sure. Okay, so I have 1.5 inches here. Then I'll come right here and measure. I should be having, you know, 1.5 inches. Okay, so go ahead and measure yours, ensure that it is accurate. And then what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and pin this down so that it doesn't move. Very, very important. So pin yours down, and once we pin down, I'm going to, you know, place this on top So you don't need to pin the second part down. Nothing will happen. Since you have accurately, placed and pinned this, you're just going to be using this one as a guide. Just place it on top. And then I'll take this to my sewing machine now. The same way I sewed, the first part, I'll be sewing along the edge of the collar stay, okay? I'll sew straight up like this, follow the curve, go straight down to this end, and then, come right back down. So guys, after sewing, this is what I have. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess, around this point. You don't really need that. So I'll just go ahead and, trim it off to about 1/4 of an inch. And after trimming, guys, I'll go ahead and, flip the collar stand to the right side. And I'm going to give this a very, very good press. So guys, after pressing, this is what my collar looks like. I just want to quickly explain something to us. If you want to attach this collar to your shirt fabric that you have already cut out and sewn, what you need to do is to make sure that this part that has the collar stay is, the part that is going to, touch your neck, okay? And then the collar fall part that has the collar stay is going to, be facing outside. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, kindly give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell so you get, updates when I post new videos, and I'm going to be seeing you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys.